Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Muhammad Farhan. So in this video, I would like to present our essay. So let's go. The title of our essay is Judge People from Empathy. Did you know that empathy is so important thing in our life? Yes, empathy is so important. Empathy itself is the use of heart, understanding, and emotions that we feel without us having to do it. And it's a basic manner that everyone should have, right? Not many people think that empathy plays an important role in daily habits, but we realize empathy in habits for life is an important role. Because with empathy, we can judge people, such as how we react when we meet slum people and how we judge people who don't have empathy. First, how we react when we meet slum people. For example, uh, if that is me, for me, I will give clothes. But for the next, it is his affairs with his God, and then Aisha will give the slum man food and drink. Then Aisha will advise Aisha's mate so that he can empathize with that person who needs help. And for roughly, will set aside half of his sustenance in the form of money to that person and motivate him to use it to do things that can benefit him. Second, how we judge people who don't have empathy. For us, everyone thinks that it can be called a bad person, especially for me, because I am used to being taught from a young age to give a person judge from empathy. So the main point is that people's assessment of the empathy has emerged since we were children. And then Aisha's opinion is because a person who doesn't have empathy means that person is not sensitive to other people's problems. And the last, because we have been taught to empathize with someone when expressing serious problems, especially for problems in life. That is a roughly reason. To conclude, how we react when we meet some slum people and how we judge people who don't have empathy, that is an example of an actions that can judge people from empathy. If we don't have empathy in us from childhood, we will be known as bad people and we will not know how to do good. Moreover, we also have to pay attention to the people around us who have problems, especially with their life problems. So, thank you for your attentions. Goodbye. Good luck.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Aisyah Salsabila from Group 2. On this occasion, I will present the result of our discussion, consisting of Aisyah Salsabila, Mikram Farhan, and Rafli Aprilio. The title of our essay is Judge People from Empathy. Did you know that empathy is so an important thing in our lives? Yes, empathy is so important. Empathy itself is the use of heart, understanding, and emotions that we feel without us having to do it, and is a basic manner that everyone should have. Not many people think that empathy plays an important role in daily habits, but we realize empathy in habitual life is an important role. Because with empathy, we can judge, such as how we react when we meet some people and how we judge people who do not have empathy. First, how we react when we meet some people. For example, like Ikram will give clothes, but for the next, it his affairs with his God. Aisha would give the homeless man food and drink. Then I would advise my mate so that he can empathize with the person who needs help. And Rafi will set aside half of his sustenance in the form of money to that person and motivate him to use it to do things that can benefit him. Second, how we judge people who don't have empathy. For us, everyone thinks that it can be called a bad person. For Ikram, because we are used to being taught from a young age to give a person judge from empathy. So the point is that people's assessment of empathy has emerged since we were children. Aisha's opinion is because a person who does not have empathy means that person is not sensitive to other people's problems. And the last, because we have been taught to empathize with someone when experiencing serious problems, especially a problem in life. That is Rafli's reason. To conclude, how we react when we meet some people and how we judge people who don't have empathy, that is an example of an action that can judge people from empathy. If we do not have empathy in us from childhood, we will be known as bad people and we will not know how to do good. Moreover, we also have to pay attention to the people around us who have problems, especially with their problems. That's my presentation about the result of our discussion from group 2. I'm so sorry if there are mistakes and thank you for your attention. See you again. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello sir, my name is Muhammad Priyo and today I want to presenting our essay. Our essay that we make together. So I will read aloud to you. So okay, here you go. Did you know that empathy is so important in our role in our lives? Yes, empathy is so important. Empathy itself is the use of heart, understanding, and emotions. We feel with heart. Empathy plays an important role in daily habits. But we realize empathy in habitual life is an important role because with empathy can judge, such as how we react when we meet some people and how we judge people who do not have empathy. So first, how we react when we meet some people. For example, like Ikram will give clothes, but for the next, it is his affair with his God. Uh, and Aisha would give the homeless man food and drink and outward, and she would advise her mate so that he can empathize to the person who needs help. And for me, to set aside of my sustenance in the form of money to the person and motivate him to use it to the things that can benefit him. So second, how we judge people who don't have empathy. For us, everyone thinks that it can be called being a bad person. Uh, so for Ikram, is because we are used to being taught from a young age to give a person just from empathy. So the point is that people's assessment of empathy emerged since we were children. And Asia's opinion is because a person who doesn't have empathy means that the person is insensitive to other people's problems. And the last opinion is from me is because we have been taught empathize with someone and experiencing serious problem, especially problems in life. So the conclusion is that being empathetic is very important for our lives and very important to be instilled from childhood. If we do not have empathy in our uh, in us from childhood. We will be known as bad people, and we will not know how to do good. Moreover, we also have to pay attention to the people around us who have problems, especially with the life problems. Okay, that's it. Thank you, sir.